The grants pass ruling mean for the city of Chico operating under that settlement agreement for how it handles homeless camps?
Well, new at 5, I met up with Chico's mayor, Andrew Coolidge, to find out what comes next. I know everything is up in the air and there's a lot to discuss, so you can't give me hard answers about any specific thing, but we've discussed before, what does this mean for the pallet shelter? And you believe that the city is going to still support having the pallet shelter?
Yeah, I think even if you were to see the city take this back to court and the federal court says, yep, you're fine to enforce, I don't think we're gonna, go, okay, empty the pallet shelter, let's move people out.
Yeah, you feel it's been successful, right?
It has been successful. We've got a lot of success stories coming out of there, a really good transition for folks. I think Chico wants that compassionate side as well. Really where it's going to make a difference is on our streets, the camping in the park, things along those lines.
Yeah.
Once we get the courts to reconsider this, then, obviously we'll be able to move forward.
Right.
So.
One of the things that we get the most phone calls and complaints or concerns about is the alternative site. And that is a specific thing that's part of the Warren Agreement, right? That maybe is not seen as quite as successful. So that could be something where the city's able to make a different decision about a site like that based on what's happened today from the court.
Yeah, and you'll see some news coming down from the city about the resting site out there.
Yeah.
And in particular, that area has obviously been troublesome.
Yeah.
It's something that we've asked for clarification on. The court's actually going to be giving us some clarification on. So you'll see some changes move through there. I think that's going to be important.
Do you anticipate this being a very long process before we actually see meaningful change?
Federal courts tend to move pretty quick.
Okay.
So I think we'll have, in comparison to local courts, sometimes those cases take 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Federal courts tend to make decisions quicker. So I think you'll see the council act pretty quickly once we have a decision.
Okay.
And then of course doing that within the realms of, what makes sense for the city of Chico.
Some people in our community might feel like this is not a win for the homeless, for people who are really struggling, and what do you say to those people?
What I would say to those people is, look, I don't anticipate the city closing the pallet shelter anytime soon, even if we were to get a completely different kind of settlement agreement, ruling in the Warren case. So, I think we'll maintain that. We have obviously some state funding that was just acquired that will help us maintain that for the long term. So I think you'll see Chico still balance, the enforcement with the compassion.
The next Chico City Council meeting is July 16th.